we're going to talk about the leg muscles. So in our everyday life, we are just having a ordinary term for our leg and arm. But in anatomical, there are much far different on the terms because we have a upper limb and the lower limb. In upper limb, we have a arm and forearm. In lower limb, meron naman tayong thigh and leg. So, next po.
Bones of the lower limb. Like the upper limb, the lower limb is divided into three regions. The thigh is that portion of the lower limb located between the hip joint and knee joint. The leg is specifically the region between the knee joint and the ankle joint. Distal to the ankle is the foot. The lower limb contains 30 bones. These are the femur, patella, tibia, fibula, tarsal bone, metatarsal bone, and phalange. The femur is the single bone of the thigh. The patella is the kneecap and articulates with the distal femur. The tibia is the larger, weight-bearing bone located at the medial side of the leg. And the fibula is the thin bone of the lateral leg. The bones of the foot are divided into three groups. The posterior portion of the foot is formed by a group of 7 bones, each of which is known as a tarsal bone, whereas the midfoot contains 5 elongated bones, each of which is a metatarsal bone. The toes contain 14 small bones, each of which is a phalanx bone of the foot.
Next is femur. The femur or thigh bone is the single bone of the thigh region. It is the strongest bone of the body and accounts for approximately 1/4 of a person's total height. The rounded proximal end is the head of the femur, which articulates with the occipital lobe of the hip bone to form the hip joint.
Okay, the femur, as we can see in the picture, there are the anterior view and the posterior view. So, nandun yung mga parts ng femur. Next. The patella is largest sesamoid bone of the body. The patella is found in the tendon of the quadriceps femoris muscle. The patella articulates with the tibia. Yes, the patella, so the sesamoid bone is that it is incorporated into the tendon of a muscle where the tendon crosses the joint. This sesamoid bone articulates with the underlying bones to prevent damage to the muscle tendon due to rubbing against the bones during movement of the joint. Next.
The tibia or the shin bone is the medial bone of the leg and is larger than the fibula with which it is paired. The tibia is the main weight-bearing bone of the lower leg and the second longest bone of the body after the femur. The medial side of the tibia is located immediately under the skin, allowing it to be easily compacted down the entire length of the medial leg.
Yes. As you can see in the picture, magkatabi yung fibula at saka yung tibia, pero yung tibia ay yung mas malaki yung bahaging tasig sa bahaging paa. Yung tibia, yung mas malaki. Next.
The fibula. The fibula is the slender bone located on the lateral side of the leg. The fibula does not bear weight. It serves primarily for muscle attachments and thus is largely surrounded by muscle. Only the proximal and distal ends of the fibula can be palpated.
Posterior half of the foot is formed by 7 tarsal bones. The most superior bone is the talus. This has a relatively square-shaped upper surface that articulates with the tibia and fibula to form the ankle joint. Furthermore, the tarsal group can be divided into 3 more groups: the proximal tarsals, intermediate tarsals, and distal tarsals. The proximal tarsal bones are comprised of the talus and calcaneus. These bones form the bony framework around the proximal hip and ankle joint. bones contains one bone. The navicular, given its name because it is shaped like a bone. The distal tarsal contains four tarsal bones. The most bones out of the tarsal subgroups. It contains the cuboid, as well as the lateral, intermediate, and medial cuneiform bones. There is a simple mnemonic to remember all of the tarsal bones and their position relative to each other. Next. It is tiger cuffs made MILC, that's the mnemonic of the tarsal bones. So the T in tiger represents the talus. So the talus yun yung yellow, which is what the most proximal medial tarsal bone. Next, letter C in cuffs represents the calcaneus. The calcaneus is yung kulay violet, which is the most proximal lateral tarsal bone. The letter N in mid represents the navicular, yung kulay blue, yung kulay blue navicular, which is distal to the talus and lateral to the cuboid. The cuneiform bones, which are represented by the M, I, and L, and ILT. So yun yung cuneiform kulay red. The M represents the medial cuneiform, and I represents the intermediate cuneiform, and L represents the lateral cuneiform. Next. Okay, metatarsal bones. The anterior half of the foot is formed by the five metatarsal bones, which are located between the tarsal bones of the posterior foot and the phalanges of the toes. These elongated bones are numbered 1 to 5, starting with the medial side of the foot. So that's the phalanges. Referring to the picture, it has 5. The metatarsal phalangeal joint, also known as the metatarsal phalangeal joint, there are 5 metatarsal phalangeal joints, and they are all where the metatarsal of the foot connects with the matching proximal phalanges. A joint between adjacent phalanx bone is called interphalangeal joint. The interphalangeal joint includes all of the joints that connect the phalanges, toes together. All phalanges except for the hallux have two interphalangeal joints, the proximal interphalangeal joint and the distal phalangeal joint. The hallux only contains one joint, and that's the metatarsomphalangeal joint. That's the joint where your big toe, the hallux, yung big toe, it is known as the metatarsophalangeal joint. Next. The toes contain a total of 14 phalanges, arranged in a similar manner as the phalanges of the fingers. The toes are numbered 1 to 5, starting with the big toe hallux. So the big toe is the hallux. The big toe has 2 phalanx bones, the proximal and distal phalanges. The remaining toes all have proximal, middle, and distal phalanges. So only the big toe, the remaining toes all have proximal, the middle, and the distal phalanges. A joint between adjacent phalanx bones is called the interphalangeal joint sa economic type. The phalanges are the bones of the toes and consist of proximal, middle, and distal bones. So siya na picture. So, ito yung dalawang phalanx. The only toe that doesn't have these 3 phalanges is the big toe, which only has proximal and distal phalanges. And take note pala, the bones of the foot are very important for several aspects for life. So the next reporter will discuss the majority of muscles in the leg.
The majority of the muscles in the leg are considered long muscles in a person's great differences. Muscles contract and relax in the skeletal bones to create movement of the muscles. Next are the smaller muscle cells. The larger muscles stabilize joints, help rotate joints, and facilitate other fine movements. The largest muscles in the legs are present in the thighs and the thumb. The muscle and the example of it is the muscle that make up quadriceps are the strongest and thinnest of all muscles in the body. Yung quadriceps or yung tinatawag nilang quads, siya yung major muscle ng legs kasi siya yung may pinaka Each of the four muscles at the front of the thigh are the major extensors, which are the rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius. Yun lamang po.
Posterior of muscles primarily produce plantar flexion of the foot at the ankle joint, an action important to the two-off phase of the gait cycle in which the foot prepares to leave the ground. Plantar flexion is also important for maintaining posture while standing and walking. So the lateral, which consists of fibularis longus and fibularis brevis. The muscles of the leg produce different movements in the ankle and foot that are important for many activities such as walking, running, and dancing. It is important to consider muscle groups as functional units. While the individual muscles in each compartment have additional functions, the primary function of each compartment is the most important thing to remember. So this lateral group, it consists of muscles that mainly produce an eversion of the foot and the subtalar joint. This action plays an important role in maintaining balance while standing on one leg or walking on rough surfaces. So the next reporter will discuss each part and their functions under the three compartments of the legs.
There is a small space between the parts of the fibularis longus that originates from the head of the fibula and the neck of the fibula. The common fibular nerve passes through this gap and is easily identified. After passing through the gap, the nerve terminates by bifurcating into two terminal branches, the deep and superficial fibular nerve.
So, the posterior compartment of the leg. So, this compartment is the largest among the three compartments of the leg. Collectively, the muscles in this area plantar flex and invert the foot. So, plantar flex meaning to flex the foot or toes towards the sole. They are innervated by the tibial nerve, a terminal branch of the sciatic nerve. Posterior compartment consists of 7 muscles that we will know as we go through our discussion. So, as I was saying, this compartment of the leg consists of 7 muscles and organized into 2 layers, which are the superficial and deep. However, these are separated by a band called fascia. So you might ask what fascia is. It is a thin casing of connective tissue that surrounds and holds every organ, blood vessel, bone, nerve fiber, and muscle in place. So, the superficial muscles. May I ask Mr. Dagdagan to please read about the superficial muscles?
It forms the characteristical shape of the posterior leg and the calcaneus of the foot through the calcaneal tendon. However, there are 2 versions associated with the calcaneal tendon to minimize friction during movement. These are subcutaneous calcaneal bursa, deep bursa of the calcaneal tendon.
So, the subcutaneous calcaneal bursa lies between the skin and calcaneal tendon. However, the deep bursa of the calcaneal tendon lies between the tendon and the calcaneus. So, under superficial are the muscles gastrocnemius, plantaris, and soleus. With this, we will be able to know also the attachment, the actions, and the innervations of each muscles. Next po. The gastrocnemius. It is the most superficial among all muscles in the posterior leg. It has 2 heads, the medial and lateral, which converge to form a single muscle belly. So So its attachment, the lateral head originates from the lateral femoral condyle and medial head from the medial femoral condyle. The fibers converge and form a single muscle belly. In the lower part of the leg, the muscle belly combines with the soleus to form the calcaneal tendon with inserts on the calcaneus, or what we call the heel bone. So its actions, it plantar flexes at the ankle joint, and because it crosses the knee, it is a flexor there. So its innervation, the tibial nerve. Next is the plantaris. It is a small muscle with a long tendon which can be mistaken for a nerve as it descends down the leg. So trivia, plantaris is absent in 10% of people. Haan nga amin nga tao ket ada plantaris na. So the attachment of plantaris originates from the lateral supracondylar line of the femur. The muscles descends medially, condensing into a tendon that runs down the leg between the gastrocnemius and the soleus. The tendon blends with the calcaneal tendon. So its action, it plantar flexes at the ankle joint, and because it crosses the knee, it is a flexor there. It is not a vital muscle for these movements. So its innervation in the tibial nerve. Next is the soleus. It is located deep to the gastrocnemius. It is a large and flat and was named due to its resemblance of a flatfish named sole. So its attachment naman originates from the oleal line of the tibia and proximal fibular area. The muscle narrows in the lower part of the leg and joins the calcaneal tendon. Its actions, plantar flexes the foot at the ankle joint. So innervation, the tibial nerve. So next naman, sa deep muscles naman tayo. There are 4 muscles that makes up the deep compartment of the posterior of the leg. One muscle, the popliteus, acts only on the knee joint. The 3 remaining muscles, which are the tibialis posterior, flexor hallucis longus, and the flexor digitorum longus, act on the ankle and foot. So, the first muscle, which is the popliteus, it is located superiorly in the leg and lies behind the knee joint, forming the base of the popliteal fossa. The popliteus bursa. It is a bursa that lies between popliteal tendon and posterior surface of the joint. The attachment of popliteus, it originates from the lateral condyle of the femur and the posterior horn of the lateral meniscus. From there, it runs infерomedially toward the tibia and inserts above the origin of the soleus muscle. The action laterally rotates the femur on the tibia, unlocking the knee joint so that flexion can occur. Its innervation is in the tibial nerve. Next is the tibialis posterior. It is the deepest out of the 4 muscles. It lies between the flexor digitorum longus and the flexor hallucis longus. So its attachment naman, it originates from interosseous membrane between the tibia and the fibula, and posterior surfaces to the malleolus, and attaches to the plantar surfaces or the medial tarsal bones. Its action, it inverts and plantar flexes the foot, maintains the medial arc of the foot. Its innervation is in the tibial nerve. Next po. Letter C, the flexor digitorum longus. It is smaller muscle than the flexor hallucis longus. It is located medially in the posterior leg. So its attachment originates from the medial surface of the tibia, attaches to the plantar surfaces of the lateral four digits. Its action flexes the lateral four toes. Its innervation is in the tibial nerve. Next, or the last one, is the flexor hallucis longus. This muscle is found on the lateral side of leg. This is slightly counterintuitive as it is opposite the great toe which it acts on. So its attachment, it originates from the posterior surface of the fibula, attaches to the plantar surface of the phalanx of the great toe. Its actions, it flexes the great toe, and the innervation is in the tibial nerve. Next one.
So next topic, we will talk about the what is quadriceps, calf, and feet.